This is example 1.5. Notice I have removed the rules of significant figures, so I hope you have this memorized by now. If not, you can go back to your book there in chapter 1 near the beginning. So example 1.5 says an Olympic pool is 0.05 kilometers in length. How long is that in meters? Now you probably did some little chart when you were in elementary school where you have kilometers and then hectometers and then decameters and then just meters and then let's see, we don't really use the decimeters, but technically it's there, centimeters and millimeters, and you probably started somewhere like here and you probably hopped. That's fine for elementary school, but we are actually going to start doing it a different way now. We're going to do it in a more scientific way, and this will help when you're doing other problems that need different things. So first we're going to write down our conversion factor. So kilometers equals how many meters? Which one's the bigger one? The bigger one is kilometers, so let's put a 1 there. How many meters does it take to make a kilometer? It takes 1,000. If you don't know, there's a chart in your book, and if needed, you can have a chart on your test or quiz if your parent allows. So we're going to use that as our conversion factor, and we're going to start again just like we have in other conversion problems. Microsoft Whiteboard thinks I'm drawing ovals and circles, so it keeps editing my zeros. So we're going to start by writing 0.05 kilometers as a fraction, and then we're going to use a conversion fraction by putting kilometers on the bottom because we want them to cancel and meters on the top. I like to write my conversion somewhere on the page. That way I don't get confused when I start to write my conversion fraction. So the 1 goes with the kilometers and the 1,000 goes with the meters. All right, the kilometers cancel out as a unit. I'm going to be left with just meters, and we're going to calculate 0.05 times 1,000. You probably can do that in your head, but let's pretend you can't. You can just type it in the calculator. And in fact, even if you can do it in your head on test, you probably want to use a calculator so you don't mess it up out of nervousness. So the answer is 50. We're multiplying, so we care about how many significant figures it is. So let me go ahead and write 50, and then we'll edit that if needed. In this particular number, which is the only one we care about, there's only one significant figure, and that is the 5. The zeros in front of it are not significant because they're not between significant figures, and they're not at the end of and after the decimal. So we only have 1. So our answer should only have 1. Our answer is 50 meters. The 5 is significant. The 0 is at the end, but it is not after a decimal, so therefore it is also not significant. So we indeed have 1. So this problem is done and we don't have to do any further work. The answer is 50 meters.